know. Because I did.
Welcome to Doctor Who Rewind Confidential, a show after the show that we're going to be doing. Oh my god, two people's very, very difficult, isn't it? Oh my god.
Sorry.
Did you say starring?
Yeah. So is that what we said?
No.
Oh, what did we say?
I say where I, Tyrese, and my friend Katie.
Starring me, Katie, and my friend Tyrese.
Oh my god.
Where we talk about Doctor Who and all of the other parts of Doctor Who as well. But we don't actually talk about those. That's just a lie. We just lie to you every single week. What do you think of the episode?
We're not talking about one.
Something changed in my brain when I just want to go piss there, man.
I was going to say, what did you do? Did you drink it? Did you drink your own piss again? Did you drink your own piss again?
No.
You know it's not double points for the vitamins when you do that, right? Did you drink your piss again?
No.
Katie, look at me. Look at me in the eyes. Did you drink your piss again?
This is why everyone thinks I have a piss fetish, Tyrese.
It's true, everyone does.
This is why I'm never going to be able to get rid of this.
You're a furry with a piss fetish. Welcome to Doctor Who Rewind Confidential. It's like a show after the show before the next show sort of thing that we're doing.
But worse.
Yeah, at the end of each season where we go and we do a little seasonal ranking, we're going to ask ourselves, where did the fuck go? And all of these other things. Katie, would you like to do our episode rankings first? How do you want to do this?
Ooh, I don't know. Does this feel like a starting note or an ending note?
As
I
Matt
feel like
Mercer
it could
would
be
say.
either.
I feel... maybe we'll save it for the end, yeah.
Like the big finish.
Hey, I see what you did there. Not only was it an audio drama joke, it was a cum joke too. And that is why we are friends.
You know me. There's two things I love. It's audio dramas and cum.
Please don't. I'm going to avoid Strange on the Internet being able to clip you saying that.
This is why. This is in practice why I will never escape anything. Because I am a disaster and
because
I think that funny is funny.
So...
Ooh, you don't want to let me see your rankings on the back there.
Yeah, I don't.
No.
Whoops. I didn't realise that. I should have kept a page. Here's the thing, right? I have the filming blocks here because we didn't talk about it. We didn't talk about it at the beginning of the season. I wanted to touch on it because you said Eccleston was quitting after Unquiet Dead.
Apparently, yes, that was when it was I think it was confirmed to the cast. Then.
You were very close on that.
Oh,
I know where you've gone wrong here. And it's Unquiet Dead is episode 3.
Yes.
After filming 3 episodes, Eccleston was out.
Okay.
The first block of filming was Rose, Aliens of London, and World War 3. So presumably after or during the filming of World War 3.
Read that somewhere.
Yes. Yeah.
So, I guess that. What was the start of the next filming block though?
End of the World.
Oh, okay, right. Yeah,
but
never mind.
I had this thought when I was looking this up earlier. This is a 13 episode season. Imagine after 3 of them, you have to do another 10, and you've already done what Eccleston is quoted as saying irreparable damage to like that relationship between producer, producer, co-producer, and showrunner. That was damaged so much beyond repair by 3 episodes. He still had to. So. They shoot Rose, Aliens of London, World War 3 with Keith Boak and Russell T Davies. Phil Collinson produces the whole season, that's fine. They then go on to shoot in this order 10 episodes where Eccleston knew his relationship with the cast is just, it's done. It's out the window. So they shoot in this order. The End of the World, The Unquiet Dead, Dalek, Father's Day, The Long Game, The Empty Child and Dr. Dances, Boomtown, Bad Wolf and Parting of the Ways. Yes. All of those knowing this is the only time I am ever doing this. That's fucking crazy to me. And then I think it was the April of 2005. I think, I'll double check that later on, is the press release where...
where the news was broken.
During a press conference thing where the news was broken that David Tennant would be reprising? No. The reason I said that is because he was...
He's currently reprising.
No, he was offered the role... after Casanova, like immediately, like they were like, "Hey, here's a rough cut of what we're doing with Doctor Who," because I'm assuming that just him and Russell T Davies were just in contact from that.
Yeah, yeah.
And do you want this role? I genuinely couldn't find anything, but I mean, I wasn't specifically looking for that on whether Tennant even had to audition. Like, I don't imagine he would have had to.
If he was offered it, I assume that he wouldn't have had to audition, but he probably would have had to like screen test or something.
With Billy Piper.
Yeah, like chemistry.
I imagine so.
What do they call it? Chemistry.
No, it is a
something.
screen test. Yeah, what you're
Is
saying.
it? Yeah, but I'm sure there's a specific thing. It's like chemistry something.
Chemistry
it's
test. I do not know. Do you know where you would place your fuck? So if no one knows what we're doing here, movies. 12As, I think it is. They're allowed to say
12A, PG-13, anything around that rate.
They're allowed to use one instance of the word fuck.
Yeah, no consequence. Well, fuck, motherfucker, fucking.
Just a fuck.
Yeah,
somewhere,
like you can drop one F-bomb in your movie and have like no consequence for it.
And this is, I mean, it's a little more lighthearted than most 12As and stuff, but we're gonna ask ourselves where the fuck go. I'm gonna propose a few rules to this.
Okay.
One, the person who says the fuck has to have been in the TARDIS, otherwise we could do this all day. We could be like, the girl says fuck and that's hilarious. So I want to make sure that it's someone, at least someone connected to Team TARDIS in some way.
Okay.
I don't mind if it's like Rose's immediate family. If you want Pete Tyler...
if I want Jackie
to get hit by if you want Pete Tyler to get fuck and the car hits him and that's it. If you want that to happen...
That's allowed.
I'm more than happy. I also think that I was toying around with the idea of doing 3 fucks.
Okay.
A serious fuck, a silly fuck, and a pointless fuck. And so you can put in what your silly fuck would be, your, what did I say? Silly, serious, and pointless.
Yeah.
Which is the one that just holds
nothing. Yeah. Okay.
You're just looking at the episodes now to see where you would put it.
I am, yeah, because I feel like the thing is, there is like a lot of,
yeah,
a lot of potential.
In fact, no. If we're gonna do 3 fucks, anyone can say the fuck. If we're gonna do 3,
okay, anyone's allowed to.
Yeah.
I didn't prepare this actually.
Oh, I didn't. I just want to brainstorm a little bit. I think personally, when the rocket is going to come down and the Slytherin goes to say bollocks.
Oh, they should say fuck instead.
Say fuck.
Okay.
Oh, fuck. And then that'd be I think that's my silly fuck.
Yeah.
My serious fuck might be when the Doctor sees Super Rose for the first time and realizes, like, oh, God.
He just goes, fuck.
He's like, fuck.
I think it would be really funny if in the Parting of the Ways cold open, when they're like, you are live on channel 44,000, please do not swear. I think it would be
the
really
Doctor
funny.
just goes,
fuck.
Fuck. Yeah,
or
I like that one.
They do like an intentional cut where he goes like fuck, and then we get the the fucking.
There's a
that
little
would be
bit.
Funny, but I don't know.
I don't know how much of Sherlock you watch. There's a bit that's a bit like that, where Sherlock goes to say "fuck off," and he goes, and then it cuts to Martin Freeman. He's a doctor. He's got hold of someone's balls, and he goes cough. But the cut makes it go cough, and you're like, ah. Ha, ha,
they
ha,
do
ha.
it. I'm pretty sure they do it twice here, but there is one in New Earth.
Yes.
When
yeah.
Cassandra's like that little bit, and then Rose goes, "Bit rich coming from you."
Yeah. Cockney rhyme and slang, right?
I shall proceed up the apples and pears. I think one would be funny in the long game.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of where one would go in that, but I don't.
Go, and then Adam's mum just goes, "Fuck."
That would be a pointless fuck.
That
could be a silly
fuck.
or a pointless fuck.
Yeah. I also think that Jackie deserves to say one.
Oh.
Like, not I want her to. She deserves to.
No. That would be my pointless fuck. Is she's in the dressing gown and she goes, fuck? And she poses it as a question. It's not like an exclamation.
See, I think...
And the doctor goes, no.
See, I agree with you, but I would change it slightly. I think... Because at the end of that little interlude, right? At the end of that
the
whole
doctor
thing...
sees Jackie in the dressing gown and he's like, fuck.
When he goes, no. And then... leaves. Jackie makes like a little face at him where she's like I don't know how to describe it for the like audio medium, but she kind of makes like a bit like
she's been let down a little bit.
Yeah, it looks like she would be saying, "Oh, piss off," then like that kind of
a little bit chewy.
Yeah, a bit like. All right. But I think that should be like her little fuck off, little one of them maybe.
Oh, like she doesn't say it, but she mouths it and like flips 2 fingers. Like
she Jackie's a 2-finger.
The way you're gonna say Jackie's a 2-finger girl.
Yeah. No, Jackie likes to, do the like 2 fingers up and the little like. I think that's like.
That translates well in audio. Yeah. Anyway, let's see. Oh, maybe when Clive sees the Orton gun, he's like, "Fuck."
Oh fuck! I was right.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
it's the one time you don't want to be correct.
More bummed about it.
Yeah. What characters do you think deserve a fuck?
I think Mickey should get one.
Okay. I think Blantal Foch should get one.
Oh yeah, actually, I think that she should.
In this, as a Celine, she's like,
I think Gwyneth should get one.
Gwyneth.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, actually, I think she would die. I think the saying the word "fuck" would kill her. Actually.
Yeah, she'd like up in a puff of smoke.
Yeah.
The end of the world. Who do you think?
Like,
I think the blue dude who's on the kill floor and he doesn't know how to press the button on his keyboard very well. He's like, fuck, fuck, and then it's just that's it. The sun wall comes
I
down.
think he should get the Samuel L. Jackson in Infinity War. The
mother, and
yeah.
then shoom, yeah.
I think that he should get that personally.
Would you want a Dalek to say fuck?
For pure comedy reasons, yes, but like actually no.
How many times do you think Nicholas Briggs into the Dalek mic has said fuck or piss or just a bad word to be imagine if a Dalek said
I would love to hear those, like, you know, obviously like the uncut, like unedited Dalek, like the raw feed from his microphone or whatever. Yeah. Because I also what I think would be funny if I was him is I'd be like, your mum. But in a Dalek voice.
In a Dalek voice.
Yeah, I think that would be funny.
Oh my god. Do you know what would be super fun? If I could, and I would love to do this, I don't know what I would need to set this up. Set your mic up to do a Dalek sound voice.
Yeah.
And set mine up to do a Cyberman voice. And we'll just do the little sass off from the end of Army of Ghosts and Doomsday.
Yeah.
And it's almost like a roast battle. But it's just those two, and we have because when Cybermen talk, their mouths light up blue. Or at least the Canary Wharf Cybermen, which I love, design wise. With those ones, you can have like on screen. We can do that, and then Dalek obviously does a Dalek too. But I can't think of any definitive places. I just think it's a fun discussion to be like, who would you have say
yes.
fuck? I don't have any like 3 listed that I'm like, these are my 3 definitive fucks.
No, me neither.
It's a very fuck-heavy episode, this, isn't it?
Yeah, I think this is the one where, you know, if you are listening to this episode, just chill. Just sit back. Just have a drink.
You'll need one.
Just chill.
You'll need one to hear 2 people talk about fuck this much.
Yeah, this is like a special release.
It's a lot of fuck happening.
You've waited a painstaking week.
Yeah. For
your Doctor Who rewind.
It's so funny because I know that we're not going to do rankings to the end of this, but I know that both of us at 13 have the long game. So you're going to tell me that you don't. If you don't have the long game at 13, we are not recording this ever again.
We'll see.
We have just recorded the first episode of season 2 that comes out.
Scrapped. Lost media.
Oh, it's very on trend for Doctor Who.
We send the tape somewhere else, and then in like 40 years, someone animates it.
So I've got a good amount of information here for you.
Wowie, info dump.
So this is gonna be very like I'm gonna say a lot.
Okay.
Which is very out of character for me. So Eccleston left the show after a season.
Yes, he did.
How do you feel about that whole thing? Just him being gone in general, ignoring the fact that right now he is back.
Yeah. Well, okay. So from a Doctor Who fan perspective, it is, you know, like, I mean, I wouldn't go as far as saying it was upsetting. Like, I don't cry about it or anything. But it's a bit like, oh, I wish this guy had stuck around. However, I accept that this is a television show and it's not real. And people...
What?
Yeah. Crazy, isn't it?
I have to make a few calls. Yeah.
Yeah. No, your phone fucking vibrated like perfectly timed there.
Yeah. I can make a few calls. My phone vibrates. I like mechanically how it works. How it's essentially all of the tropes of Doctor Who, past, present, future, aliens, and regeneration are all in one season. It's like a little lesson in the show.
It's like baby's first Doctor Who, right? Like,
yeah, and it's
sort of where the season works.
Beginning, middle, and end is like, this is the show at large. This is what you are to expect.
Well, equally though, I feel like, you know, if you are not having a good time doing something, if something isn't working and you can just stop doing it, just stop doing it.
Well, they worked together on The Second Coming, right? Was that
what, RTD and
Eccleston? Was that them both, or was that just Eccleston?
Oh, I'll check, because
do a quick little check.
Yeah.
Might have just been one of them. I could just be an idiot.
This is just Christopher Eccleston. One sec.
I've heard it's good.
I've seen
that was ITV, not BBC though, so maybe it was just one of them.
Yeah, but he's done stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, written and created by RTD.
Oh, so it was both of them.
Yep. Same with the woman from Midnight is also in this.
I wonder what was different. Because maybe
it was just the BBC of it all. If you said that was on ITV.
because I think that, like, to understand this, we still do not know what happened.
No.
We still, almost 20 years on, we don't know what was said, we don't know what arguments were had, we don't know whether it was just a general, when something just generally doesn't work, this job's not for you, I don't know whether it was that or whatever.
Yeah.
We still don't know specifically what was said, the conversations that were had, the arguments that may or may not have happened. We have no idea. That's all that can, up in the air. I also don't think it's anyone's business. As much as, like, the curious part of my brain is like, I would love to know this. That's just the bit that kind of is, like, hungry for information. But it doesn't change my life at large. Those things, by and large, are private to the people involved. That being Russell T Davies, Julie Gardner, and Phil Collinson.
Yeah, exactly.
Producer, co-producer, and the showrunner. So, relatively quiet on this for 13 years.
Yes. Well, Eccleston or just in general?
Eccleston.
Yeah.
There was a big, that I'm not going to get into this too much, falsified statement by the BBC.
Oh.
Yeah. So the BBC announced him leaving.
Right.
Did not tell Eccleston they were doing this. So people were calling him, and he saw it in the papers and in the news that Eccleston is not returning to Doctor Who and all this, which he knew he wasn't doing.
Well, yeah.
But the reasons that the BBC were giving, I don't know if they actually specifically gave a reason, but what they, essentially, because they got to break the news first, it didn't reflect well on him.
It's their narrative, innit?
And so the BBC, who control mostly fucking everything UK broadcasting, it's in the fucking name, blacklisted him. And his agent and a few other people had said to him, if you want to continue working, the UK is not an option.
Yeah.
Until it's a problem with the higher ups at the BBC. It's part of it. I think the word that I found is regime. And exactly. Until that changes, until the higher ups are, swapped around and it's reshuffled, there isn't really a future acting position with you in the BBC or in the UK, very much, which is shady and shitty, and it's horrible.
Yeah, it kind of does suck.
And it's been so long that I can guarantee there are new people in charge and all that. But since then, whilst Eccleston has worked with the BBC, he has since said he will not work with Russell T Davies again. And he's changed from never to unlikely, but I think they're quite synonymous in Eccleston. He's he sticks to his morals. He's very.
I know there was a whole 50th anniversary thing.
I didn't get any of that here, but this is from 2018, not 2013. What I've got.
There was a whole thing, and this is from memory.
Yes.
So if my facts are wrong, I apologize.
Mm-hmm.
I also don't remember where I read this, but I read it. And basically it was saying that apparently at one point there was talks for Eccleston to come back for the
regeneration scene. Would it have been?
It just said for the 50th. So
okay.
I don't know what it was in there for. And apparently, allegedly, there was 2 conditions for it. And one of them was to get some guy to direct. And the other one was that he wanted a full, completed script.
Before doing
it. Yeah, so he could, on his terms sort of thing.
And
decide.
You know what? That's going to make a bit more sense in a minute.
Oh?
I mean, not the script. The script thing he had said, there's an interview you can find. In fact, it's on Doctor Who's official YouTube channel. I'll link it in the description for this if you are watching on YouTube or listening at least on YouTube. I think it's like maybe like between 10 and 20 minutes long.
Yeah.
From when he came to Big Finish for the first time. And someone said, what made you come back? And honest as day, he was just like, money.
Yeah. And fair enough.
He said,
genuinely fair enough.
The pandemic was happening. He said, he said, I'm an actor, yes, but I need to provide for my children. I've got 2 kids. I need money to live, especially during the pandemic. On top of that, he used a huge fan of the writers at Big Finish. He said he thinks they're all skilled, they're all great. He's been treated really well. He's been working with Big Finish now since pandemic, so a good 3 years. Off and on, I assume, for a few things. It could have been for 2 years. Could have been a bit of the 2021 stuff as well. So getting a full script makes sense. He wants to know he's been written well. He doesn't want to read a script, have an expectation, and on the day get some other sides and be like, what? This is not.
I mean, I think as an actor though, it's like a very reasonable thing to want.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying, if you've never done if you're about to start your first ever acting project ever, be like, I demand a full script, come on, be reasonable. But I don't think that it should be a thing that you are vilified for. Not saying he was, but
Who was vilified?
Eccleston.
Oh, he was.
No, I know, but I mean, like, if you just say, like, I want a script, I feel like there should be a
Yeah,
thing
oh
that you
yeah,
are allowed to have.
that's a normal thing.
Same
You're an
with, like-
actor. Then what do you expect it to do?
Same with, you know, like you said, he just wants the money. Fair.
Imagine.
I only go to work for the money.
Yeah,
I hate to
I've
break it
also
to-
only ever done that.
You know, I hate to break it to. I'm not going to call out my employers.
Yeah, don't do that.
I was going to go. I know who the higher ups are.
When
I was
I-
going to go by name.
I will say, I obviously only ever worked for the money, but I did enjoy my job when I was working at the hotel. That was fine.
Oh, yeah.
And that was a great thing. I enjoyed being on my feet. I enjoyed the people. I'm a night owl, so I enjoyed the late nights and all that kind of stuff.
Good for you.
I know,
I
right?
hate it.
I was very lucky, and that was my first job too. So I was like, oh, working's not that bad. Never mind. Very quickly, when I wasn't getting out, I was like, never mind. But imagine, like, you know, me and you are both doing a writing course. Imagine going to a publisher and then being like, oh, I want to sell a book. And they're like, okay, let us read your book. And you're like, no!
Yeah.
That's so unreasonable!
Trust me, it's good. To be fair, that sounds so on trend for me if I was like, publish this book and they went, can we read it? And I'd go, no.
Yeah, it does sound on
None
trend
for
for you.
you.
I've been trying for ages to get Katie to let me read her work. It's really difficult.
Do you know
I'm
what?
struggling.
I would have to have written the work in order for you to read it.
That's true.
In terms of full disclosure, you have, apart from one thing, which is an idea, you've read everything I've written
That's cool.
recently.
And it's good, so suck a dick.
I'll suck 2.
Ooh! Double points. This is, I just want to say, I don't read much news. In terms of, like, actual newspapers, I know that people are like, you know, this one's run by Tories, this one's run by this. I don't know who this one is run by, but I don't care, because the show business section is not very political. Let me just tell you that right now.
That's
It does not
true.
matter.
I feel like unless you're TMZ, most
Yeah.
news sources
Yeah.
for entertainment news, you know.
This is from the 12th of March 2018 by Gareth McLean of The Guardian, who was talking...
Oh, he's got his Chicago reference in.
Me? Yeah, that's true.
No,
want to
Gareth
reference...
McLean
yeah.
of the fucking...
I'll
whatever you
link.
just said.
I'm gonna link all these articles in the description anyway. This one just has something that I think is pretty. One of the quotes I think is quite funny and very very self-aware of Eccleston that I like. This is the first time that he spoke about Doctor Who since. I don't know whether he was talking to Big Finish at the time,
What
and
year
that's
was
why.
this from?
2018.
Okay.
It's the first time he's properly begun to open up about it.
Yeah.
Eccleston says, working on something like G.I. Joe was horrendous. I just wanted to cut my throat every day. And Thor, just a gun.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
just a gun in your mouth. Gone in 60 Seconds was a good experience. Nick Cage is a gentleman and fantastic actor. But G.I. Joe and Thor were... I really paid for being a whore those times.
I
That's what he
remember him saying that
Thor was
he
shafted.
didn't like Thor.
You got shafted on that one, like real
Oh
badly.
no, yep, he did. I remember, like, because like I'm not really a big Thor girly. Sorry. I remember the first time I ever read a comic with Malekith in it, and I was like, oh,
All right.
I'm sorry, Christopher. I'm sorry. I love you. My
Yeah.
favorite thing about that, and every single time I have watched that film, regardless if it, I think I've seen The Dark World like 3 times, which is too many.
It's
But
3 too many.
Every single time Malekith says his first line in that film, I will turn to whoever I'm sat with and I go, lots of planets have a north. Because he's got the accent out, baby.
Yeah, there's a he's in HBO's The Leftovers. Do you know what that is?
I got confused with The Last of Us for a second, and I was going to be like, no, he's not. Don't lie to me.
It's basically a show in which some people wake up one day and 2% of the Earth's population has vanished completely.
Oh, okay.
Which you're like, 2%, but then you're like, oh, 2% of like 7
yeah,
billion
billions.
is a lot.
Yeah.
And so it's a lot of people, but someone, I think one of the writers snuck in a Doctor Who reference,
Oh, yeah.
and he didn't realise
Oh.
until after it had aired or after it was shot, and he wasn't very happy
What was
about
the?
it.
What was
I
the?
don't have the
one?
line.
Oh,
You can look this up whilst I'll read this, and you can
I'm
look this
gonna
up.
look for it right now.
So then he's asked by the interviewer what happened with Doctor Who, and his response is, "What happened around Doctor Who almost destroyed my career. I gave them a hit show and I left with dignity, and then they put me on a blacklist. I was carrying my own insecurities as it was something I had never done before, and then I was abandoned, vilified in the tabloid press, and blacklisted. I was told by my agent at the time, the BBC regime is against you. You're going to have to get out of the country and wait for regime change. So I went away to America and kept on working because that's what my parents instilled in me. My dad always said to me, I don't care what you do, sweeping the floor or whatever you're doing, just do the best job you can. I know it's cliched and northern and all that bollocks, but it applies." Now that's all he said on this occasion but that is
Okay.
That's a good amount of sort of the general idea of what would happen. When he left, he had professionally fallen out with these people, but it doesn't seem like there was like any animosity towards the larger show.
guy.
That he's not working with like Eve Miles and Billy Piper and being like, fuck this, I'm sick of that. Like it's just not. I don't think he is unprofessional in any way. He's very
I think the thing is that as well is that you can just sort of tell from watching Doctor Who. He has like chemistry with these people. Like I find it very, very hard to watch him in the show and imagine him and Billy Piper were like, throwing hands behind the scenes.
No, I still think that on set probably was, by and large, a good time.
Yeah, and that's allowed.
Yeah. Then Hugh Fullerton, Radio Times. This is the 19th of March, so it's been a week. It's been a week. He's gone to Radio Times, and this is what he says. My relationship with my 3 immediate superiors, I had to take... He doesn't say this, but it's what I've put in there, is Russell T Davies, Julie Gardner, and Phil Collinson, which is the showrunner and the 2 producers.
Yes.
Phil Collinson produces the show. Julie Gardner is a producer at the BBC.
Yes.
At large, one of the overheads. The relationship with my 3 immediate superiors, the showrunner, the producer, and co-producer, broke down irreparably during the first block of filming, and it never recovered. They lost trust in me, and I lost faith and trust and belief in them. Some of my anger about the situation came from my own insecurity. They employed somebody else as the Doctor who was not a natural like comedian. Billy Piper, who we know was and is brilliant, was very, very nervous and very, very inexperienced. So you had that, and then you had me, very, very inexperienced, possibly the most experienced on it, but out of my comfort zone. It says here that in the interview, Eccleston goes on to reveal why he's only elected to speak on the subject in recent months, and he said that he's made an agreement not to damage the reputation of the series. A quote then from him says, when I left, I gave my word to then showrunner Russell T Davies that I wouldn't do anything to damage the show, but they did things to damage me. I didn't criticise anybody. When asked if Davies was aware of like the issues that were going on, Eccleston says, if you're the showrunner, you know everything, that's your job, adding that he will never have a working relationship with the screenwriter again. That's his comment on that. I do have some more.
Oh, I was going to say, I found a thing.
Okay.
If you want to...
Take a little break from that, yeah.
Yeah, I was searching for The Leftovers. Couldn't find anything about this reference in there, but it came up from Heroes.
Oh, that might have been it then.
The show.
I thought it was Leftovers.
He was in as well.
Never watched Heroes.
I watched the first season of it, and I've
heard good things.
Well, I know it was one of those shows that was affected by the writer's strike. And I really liked the first season, and I refused to watch any more of it. Not because of anything to, like... Just because I watched the first season and I was like, this feels like a good wrapped up story to me. I don't want to know anymore.
Okay, fair
And
enough.
I've also just heard that, the first season's the best one. But he was in that show, and it's been a while since I've seen it, so I wish I could tell you more about his character, but I genuinely don't remember.
Yeah.
And apparently this is from the Radio Times, by the way.
As well.
From 2019, this was published by Hugh Fullerton.
He's back for the next bit too.
There we go.
Hugh Fullerton. Finger on the pulse, man. Finger on the pulse.
Well, apparently this is from Eccleston's book.
Oh.
This story is
I love the bones of you.
In his book, yeah.
My father is making of me.
So apparently when he... Oh, yeah, that was it. He had invisibility powers in the like Christopher Eccleston in the show. And apparently the like sort of the higher-ups wanted him to dress like Tom Baker, like as the Doctor.
Okay.
I attended the costume... Quote from the book. I attended the costume fitting only to find the show's writers and execs waiting for me. They said they wanted me to wear a scarf. I knew exactly why. Doctor Who. I wasn't going to do that. I didn't appreciate the self-referencing element. How was that going to help me create a new character? My objection made them sit up a little. This guy's got a mind of his own, and one of the worst things you can have as an actor is a mind of your own. If you really want to climb the ladder, leave your brain at the studio door. But apparently he was like, I am not doing this. And then eventually they were like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
We'll scrap it. Then they got him to say fantastic. Apparently that was like a thing, and
because
he didn't realize.
I think you can tell whether it's something natural that the character has said or whether it's just one occurrence of it, and you go, I know where you're pulling this from. I know what you're trying to do.
I am not particularly big into getting a sort of
a reference from something else.
Yeah, getting like a well-known actor in something and then getting them to reference another role.
Or to essentially try and play the same character or frame it in such a way that...
I hate it.
Yeah. Because I'm not watching a new thing for nostalgia of an unrelated thing.
Like,
that's not why I'm here.
If you watched, what was it, Doolittle? Was that the
Oh
film?
yeah, with Robert Downey Jr.
With Robert Downey
and
Jr.
stuff,
Imagine if just in the climax he just went, and I'm Dr. Doolittle. I'd be like, fuck off, by the way.
And then he snapped his fingers and all the animals turned to dust.
Yeah.
And there's just a layer of ashen animal all over the waters that he sails on.
But yeah, I am not about that.
Yeah.
So if I was Christopher Eccleston, I would probably be a lot more angry than I imagine.
He seems to be like really respectful for what he's asking, the boundaries of the show and stuff.
What did you say that he said there, that he gave them a hit show? And I'm like, yeah, you did.
Yeah, he took a massive risk going to a sci-fi show that had been dead for years, and he'd done. I think obviously he'd worked with RTD on Second Coming, because he's not going to work with him after that. So he'd already worked with the showrunner. He'd already been in movies like 28 Days Later and things like that. He's already done a lot of this work. He's built up a good body of work. He's done a lot of stage plays, things with Shakespeare, which is like, if you're a British actor and doing Shakespeare stage plays, you are going to be an actor. I don't want to big
myself up, but I've done 2 Shakespeare stage plays.
Have you?
Yep.
Cool.
Like in school, not
Where
like...
can I find them?
I have the DVD.
Shut up then.
I have the DVD of one of them upstairs.
Do
so
you actually?
Yeah.
I'm going hunting.
It was my primary school's performance of, hey, do you want a full circle moment right now?
Okay.
It was The Tempest that we did. That was the play.
Isn't that the one that we did at uni?
I don't know, maybe. All I know is that...
When we set it in space.
Caliban. No, that was... It was one of the historical ones of Shakespeare.
Yeah, it's fine.
Julius Caesar, I think. I don't know.
I don't know. It's fine.
It was Roman. I remember that. Yeah. But Caliban is the little like gremlin monster who lives on the island thing. His mother is called Sycorax. And I remember when I was a kid and I was like, Doctor Who was like, Doctor Who, Doctor Who. And everyone was like, Katie, fucking stop it. Fucking calm down.
I was also that kid, so don't worry about it.
Yeah.
So that was March. So that was March. April rolls around about a month later.
Yes.
Russell T Davies has an interview with Hugh Fullerton.
Sorry, it's not funny to me. We used to be like, that was March. April rolls around a month later.
Yeah,
it's
roughly.
Like,
only rough. Yeah. No, sometimes it doesn't though.
No, I know, but it's like...
No, I know! What the fuck are you on about?
24 hours.
No, it always does.
Yeah, I know.
I said sometimes it doesn't and you said, no, I know.
Yeah, like I know. This isn't...
No, April always is after March. There is no occurrence in which it's not.
Yeah, I know.
But that's not what you said.
I said, no, I know. Like, as in...
Okay. All right. We hear what we want to hear, I guess. So Hugh Fullerton, you know, finger on the pulse Fullerton, as they call him at Radio Times. 25th of April 2018. RTD is told about this interview, and then has his own. And he responds to it just by saying, if it gets into any sort of tit for tat, then I'm having a conversation with my lead actor via the press, and that's not on. That's a good Russell T Davies thing right there, being like, if I'm going to talk to Eccleston about this, it's going to be face to face. I'm not doing it through tabloid press, so I'm not having a message sent, delivered, read, and all that shit.
The only drama that I want to get through tabloid press is the Wagatha Christie drama.
What?
You know the whole like was it Colleen Rooney and Rebecca Vardy thing?
No.
Oh, never mind.
Okay. What has to be remembered? What has to be remembered when the show's
being... So back to Hugh.
Back to RTD. These are quotes.
I know, I was trying to do a back to you, back to Hugh.
Oh, yeah, I'm just an idiot. Sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Forgive me.
No.
Oh, well.
Carry on.
Russell Davies then says, what has to be remembered when the show's being discussed in the present tense now is that I was his employer. I was his producer. I have duty of care towards any lead actor I work with, so I have a duty of care towards Chris in that moment. He's free to say and explore whatever he wants, that's fine. This duty of care, involves respecting him and listening to him at all times. That's my job, and that duty of care towards him will extend for the rest of our lives. He will always be my doctor, and I will always be his producer. It says here that Davies added that it was important to remember what a brave move it was for Eccleston to take on the role, especially given the speculation surrounding the sci-fi series revival in 2005. The thing I've got to say is that Chris is a magnificent actor and a magnificent man. He's truly a leader of men, and he was a magnificent Doctor Who as well. He also says, you forget what a brave move it was to take the part on when the press were quoting people like Paul Daniels as the next Doctor. It was a huge leap for Chris to make, and I love what he did. I think his comedy is funny, he plays it brilliantly. I think the darkness is off the scale with him. When the Doctor's angry, it's spectacular. It's a magnificent, never-to-be-forgotten Doctor, and it will be an honour to work with an actor delivering a performance like that. It was an honour, to work with an actor delivering a performance like that. So it seems that, 13 years has passed.
Yeah.
I think that Eccleston sticks to his guns.
Yes.
And is still not going to work with Russell T Davies ever. So when a lot of people right now are in the boat of is Matt Smith not returning? Peter Capaldi has said outright he is not. His story's been told. He's fine with leaving it where it was. It was fun.
Which hurts me deeply.
Yeah, I imagine that you're pretty sad about that.
However,
Matt Smith, I feel like, could come back.
Yeah.
Could and possibly would come back to do it.
My thing about Matt Smith is just like I wouldn't be excited about that.
I kind of would.
Because like
only because I'd be very interesting to see what Russell would want to do with that Doctor.
Yeah, I did enjoy the way...
I think he could give him a cool arc.
I enjoyed the way that Matt Smith was written in that one episode of Sarah Jane that Russell did.
Yes,
wrote with him in
yeah, he's very I don't know what the word is, 'cause it's not nostalgic, but he's very care-driven towards the companions. He's talking to Joe and Sarah Jane. He's like, you think I ever forget you? I keep an eye on you. I'm looking after you even when you don't see it. I'm always checking up, making sure you're okay. Like, the fact that you don't have to be in the TARDIS and you can go and live out your regular lives is one of my favourite things that you guys have to do.
Well, it's like a very similar thing with the whole, like, comics thing. Yeah. Where it's just like, if you don't like the way that a writer writes this character, wait till the end of the run, someone else will pick it up. And I feel like I might just have a bit of that with Matt Smith. Because, like, the thing is, this is, like, my favourite show.
Whoa.
I don't like not liking things about it. Like, I want to. I really do want to.
Yeah, that's my problem. Mainly with the Whittaker stuff. I'm like, I don't think that when I talk about Whittaker later on, and it's going to seem like I fucking hate everything. One, that's because I do. Two, I cannot stress enough how much I do not want to.
Yeah.
How much, like, I really don't... Do you know one of my favourite things that the Whittaker era actually does?
What?
Brings back the classic theme. That shit's so good.
It is, yeah.
I love the fact that it does it, and it's kind of modern, but it's still got the classic. It's got the mirrored thing in the middle while it does the effect. Like, it looks great, but it just sort of falls flat on an almost constant basis. I think I told you that I was like, oh, there's one episode I liked. Maybe this is a change for the never mind. It just did not. It just didn't. And so...
Hey, we got some Jodie at uni the other day, actually, didn't we?
Did we?
We did, yeah. In a lecture, very briefly.
Oh, yeah.
Someone threw up a little gif. Do you know what? I saw that same thing on an open day, and I think it might have been...
You just stopped yourself there, didn't you?
Yeah. Okay.
It was, yeah. It was, we just cut it at open day.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was one of our lecturers who was there, and it was like, oh, do this course for this reason.
Yeah.
And then here's a bit of Doctor Who, and it was that same. It might have just been the whole same slide show, to be fair. And I was like, Doctor Who, and he was like, Doctor Who, and we were talking about Doctor Who for a bit, and I was like, wow, that's cool. I want to come to university, and then I came to university, and now I'm like, no, stop, go back.
I would love to at some point in my third year, because I don't think I'm going to get the opportunity to this year, is do a project on Doctor Who.
Yes.
So a year and a half passes, and I assume within that time, I love the bones. I love the bones of you, my father, and the making of me.
I love the bones.
I love the bones of you. The memoir releases, I assume, because it's not mentioned anywhere else.
Which I haven't read that book, but
I haven't. I didn't even know it existed, but now I'm quite curious.
I remember when it came out. I think I saw an interview with Eccleston on some show. I don't remember. I think it was like This Morning or
I think he did a lot of morning shows around that time.
It was because my mum had like recorded it for me because she was like, "Hey, it's Doctor Who," and I was like, "Cool," because in her mind, everyone who has been on the show is
interesting for the rest of their lives now.
No, just is Doctor Who.
Oh,
like if she sees David Tennant in something, she's like, "Yeah, Doctor Who was in that."
Oh, right. I thought you meant like even if.
Oh no.
If my mum catches a thing and she's like, "Oh, Matt Smith was on Graham Norton," even if it's for for Power of the Doctor. I was going to say Power of the Dragon because you keep saying Pot D and Hot D at the time.
I do,
and I hated that. If my mum sees Matt Smith on Graham Norton,
and
he's
my mum does the same,
and he's there for House of the Dragon, my mum's like, I recorded it because it's a Doctor Who, and I know that you like Doctor Who, and he is a doctor, and so he is now interesting for the rest of his career to you, regardless of the project that he is working on. And I'm like, yeah, okay.
My mum
sure.
has this whole thing now where she hates Matt Smith, and like obviously not as a person, because
Yeah.
like she doesn't know the guy, but because me and her watched Last Night in Soho together.
I enjoyed that.
I enjoyed it until the end.
Yes, the end was weird.
Yep. But we watched that, and obviously, like, you know, spoilers, but he's kind of a dickhead.
He's a dick at that whole movie, yeah.
Yeah, he sucks in that. And then not long after that, me and my mum watched Morbius together, and he again is a villain in that. And then my mum started watching House of the Dragon, and he yet again is a dickhead in that. So now my mum, anytime Matt Smith is in anything, my mum's like, I don't like him very much.
I fully, by the way.
Whoa.
We're back. That's just for me in editing to have a fun time with.
Yeah.
A year and a half goes by. Imagine, big ticking clock. Blah, blah, blah. The book comes out, as we were saying, and Eccleston does another Radio Times interview on the 19th of September 2019 with Mr. Morgan Jeffrey. He recalls his time working on Doctor Who, saying, Billy Piper made Doctor Who a delight, but so also did Stephen Moffat's scripts. You really liked Stephen Moffat's scripts. I'm pretty sure there was only one in this season. No, two.
Well, two,
Sorry,
yeah,
it
I
was
was going to
two,
say
yeah.
two, but...
Two, my bad. I was mixing up the Mark Gatiss one too. I'm quite dead.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess, I suppose on account of it being a two-parter, you could make an argument for being...
Yeah, Moffat's scripts.
Whatever. Anyway, yeah.
He says, which delivered my best work, bringing me closer to finally knowing exactly who the Doctor was than any other time during the shoot. Directors Joe Ahern and Euros Lynn also allowed the character to blossom and thrive. Just turning the page. Eccleston goes on to say that he loved Joe, adding, if he directed the show from day one, I'd probably still be playing the Doctor now.
You know what, now you've said that based on what I was saying earlier, I think Joe Ahern was the
director he was talking about.
Director he was talking about, yep.
Yes.
Which makes sense if you're talking about Moffat, considering Moffat would have been in charge of the 50th.
Yeah. So then... That's true, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. It will have been if you can get Joe Ahern to direct the 50th
script.
I would have done it.
Yep.
And he
which, you know,
that means it was really close then.
Yeah, because who did
this? I assume is from the book, by the way. The reporter is reporting on it, but
yeah.
I think these are excerpts from the book that the reporter.
If they are after the release of the book, then I imagine so.
What, these? The quotes?
Yeah, like
I think these are from the book.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I mean, if the articles that you've taken these from are after the date that the book came out, then I would just automatically assume they were from the book.
I think only this one is because this mentions that in his new memoir it says at the
beginning.
My
God, just get on with it then.
Okay. He also says in 2004. Sorry, I need a minute. He says, in 2004, in me, they picked yet another white skinny male to be the Doctor. If somebody had said in 2004 it should have been a woman, there'd have been outrage. But only 14 years later, it's acceptable. I think it's time for white middle-aged males to step aside. That's the end of the quote on there. Mm. He also there's a panel, I was watching this earlier just 'cause it was on like the YouTube feed as I was working away at this. He was on a panel talking about how when he was the Doctor, you know, you wouldn't have thought like, oh, there would be a woman Doctor or a black Doctor, anything like that. And now we are going on to our second, you know, our second black Doctor, but also we've had now 2 female Doctors.
Yeah.
In the show.
I thought you were just fighting to say if you could actually describe Joe Martin as the Doctor.
No.
Because
I will still say that. That's fine. In continuity, that's how it is.
In the way that I give John Hurt like a 0.5, I feel like Joe Martin also gets like a 0.5 in terms of how I think of them both as the Doctor.
I mean, I would, depending on how the whole timeless child thing goes, but I feel like RTD is simply going to ignore it, or he's going to use the specials to really use the Tennant thing alongside to mix and match.
He just Time Lord Gallifrey the fuck out the sky. So
that's true.
You know.
So we move on to him never having a relationship with the BBC and Doctor Who ever again. Mm-hmm. Till now.
Yeah.
Eccleston's not back on screen.
But he's back in your ears.
But all right. This is so. Radio Times also reported on this, but it's also in a YouTube video by a guy called Tyrese. Do you know who this is?
I've heard the
The name.
The name, yeah. But
Yeah, so Tyrese is a YouTube channel, does a lot of Doctor Who reporting. They went on set a few weeks ago. I say they were on set. They were on location filming, and Tyrese was at the sidelines, and
very cool.
I only watched it today. It's a very good video about Ncuti Gatwa was shooting inside this pub, so they didn't see any of the filming that was happening. But when Ncuti Gatwa come out, they were trying to hide him behind an umbrella to get him into a limo or a car or whatever, to get him out without being swarmed by people and stuff. And bear in mind, this location is like blocked off from over the road, so there is it's not like people are at the pub windows. People are a whole road's length, like a street wide like length away, and they've got Ncuti behind the umbrella, and Ncuti dips the umbrella and comes out the other side just to wave at people. He's like, they know I'm here. They know I'm shooting. Just let me just wave at the fans. They know what's going on. They're not stupid.
Yeah.
And he gives them a wave, and it's cold because they're filming in Cardiff, and it's fucking January, February time. And Ncuti's car drives past, and Ncuti himself, he rolls the window down and waves at everyone and tells them all to stay warm. And I'm like, I cannot wait to see you on screen. Like, he's just being a good dude, and I'm so happy.
Okay, two things.
Yes.
One. Sophie Aldred said something the other day about being hidden, on set for power.
Oh yeah, I missed her speech at this con.
Yeah, she was saying how they were doing the whole, like big fucking like coat up to your neck, big, or like a bunch of people like escorting her in.
That's kind of a weird thing for me, because with Power of the Doctor, they announced her return way in advance, like set pictures. They did like. Like the Radio Times, like first look, they did that kind of thing for
I remember seeing the stuff about Ace and Tegan, because I remember that being like a thing that really
it went off on Twitter. It was like, oh my god, hell yeah.
So there was that. Second of all, every single video, which is only a few, but like every video that I have seen of is it Millie Gibson?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know why, but I can't remember her name.
You have to keep checking with me every time.
Yes, time, I cannot remember.
It's because she's younger than both of us, and we're both just sour that she's achieved more than we ever will ever.
Yeah, it doesn't feel allowed, to be honest. But hey ho.
I'm bigger than you. I'll tell you off.
Respect your elders, Millie Gibson. No, I'm sure she's lovely. But every single video that I have seen of her and like Ncuti Gatwa, just like being on set,
they're just being pals.
And I'm like, oh, so you two already have like really good chemistry. I can't wait to see you like actually in character
fuck around
together.
in the TARDIS for a bit, excited. So this is from a con it's like a Q&A type thing. It's not necessarily a panel. He's just on. Eccleston is just talking, and someone asks him, "What's your favorite thing you've done for Big Finish?"
Yes.
This is, like I say, you can find this in Radio Times. I'll link. In fact,
I'm just looking at something. I'm listening. Continue.
Yeah. I will link the Radio Times article, but go and watch the Tharys video. It's about 20 seconds long. Like, it's really not much off your day. Just go over there if you listen to this first and you haven't seen it or don't know who Tharys is somehow. Eccleston says, I've recorded something very special for the 60th anniversary. Ooh. And for me, it was all about working with this incredible actor, an incredible human, this incredible human being. It says incredibly, it's just a typo. I've recorded something very special for the 60th anniversary, and for me, it was all about working with this incredible actor, an incredible human being called David Warner. I think the 60th is my favourite, and you're going to have to wait, but it's going to be worth the wait, because David Warner is extraordinary, and if any actor should have been the Doctor, it would have been David.
I thought for a minute that there was just going to be no name drop in that quote, and it was just going to be, I worked with this incredible actor, and Eccleston was just going to pull out the Paul Bettany in One Division.
Since then, this was, by the way, the report for this. I don't have the YouTube video upload date, but it's in the description. Go check. I'm sure look.
Yeah, you'll find.
Look, you're big. You can do it. I believe in you. But the Radio Times article went up on the 17th of July, 2022, so just under a year ago. Since then, Big Finish has told us what this project is. Do you know what they are doing for the 60th?
Big Finish? No,
yes.
I don't.
Would you like to?
Go on then.
Okay, so I'm going to leave this link. This is going to be a bunch of links in the description. You can just go look at whatever you want. So, for the 60th anniversary, Big Finish is making a Diamond Doctor Who audio special titled Once and Future.
Okay.
This is pulled directly from the website. This is their little synopsis of what they're doing. Since landing in 1963, Doctor Who has made history as the world's longest-running action-adventure TV show. As we head into the anniversary year, it's time to revisit the past and commemorate the legacy of those who came before. The Time War. The Doctor has been injured and brought to a Time Lord field hospital. His body glows with energy, but this is no regeneration into a future form. Instead, the Doctor's past faces begin to appear as he flits haphazardly between incarnations. Staggering to his TARDIS, the Doctor sets out to solve the mystery of why his degeneration... Staggering to his TARDIS, the Doctor sets out to solve the mystery of his degeneration.
Of his Degeneration X?
Who has done this to him? How and why? From the Earth to the stars, across an array of familiar times and places, he follows clues to retrace his steps, encountering old friends and enemies along the way. Tumbling through his lives, the Doctor must stop his degeneration before he loses himself completely. Doctor Who Once and Future stars Tom Baker, Peter Davidson, Colin Baker, Sylvester McCoy, Paul McGann, Christopher Eccleston and David Tennant, with dozens more guest stars still to be revealed.
Oh, very cool.
Producer David Richardson said, an astonishing array of talent has come aboard to be a part of this epic 8-hour anniversary story. It's a huge Doctor Who party and a massive celebration that has been years in the making. The series will be released monthly, with the first 7 parts materialising between May and October 2023, and a final coda in November 2024. I'm looking forward to May, because that sounds fucking awesome.
That does
As a
sound
story, I'm
really
like, you got
cool.
injured in the middle of the Time War, and now your body doesn't know what it's doing, and it's going back to previous faces.
That's very cool.
Sign me up.
I was having a conversation,
Can we cover that? I really want to cover that. Like, that's so
hell
good.
yeah, of course we can.
Start in May. Oh my god.
I had a conversation, like I know we have more information about the 60th now, but I was having a conversation a while ago with a friend about the whole David Tennant Ncuti Gatwa of it all, and I was saying how I thought it would be very fun if they did like a whole Jekyll and Hyde thing with
Tennant and Ncuti.
Oh,
when you see him in the cloud-based thing, but it's not actually that.
Yeah, where it was kind of like they keep switching between the two because of unstable regeneration, something, I don't know, which now, the information is here and that's not what's happening.
Yeah.
But I thought that would be cool for a minute, and this sounds like that idea that I had, so I'm fine with that.
Eccleston is on board for an anniversary project. Ooh.
Very cool.
Very,
very, very cool.
Very excited for that. And I'm going to be listening to it in May, regardless of whether you're like, let's cover it, let's not.
Oh, no, of course.
I'm looking forward to covering
that
as soon as that is out. We know that Ncuti's shooting the Christmas special now for this year's Christmas special. So of course, the
Doctor Who Christmas special is back, baby.
Well, holiday special is back. It could still be New Year's, but I'm hoping that we get the Christmas. Do you think they'll give Russell the Christmas slot back? I assume yes.
I think so. I mean, they gave it to him in the first place.
Yeah. And
I think that at this point, giving it back to him is less of a risk than doing it the first time. Because, now it's like, okay, so he has the track record. Like, we know.
I was going to say, it's pretty insane how, like, when Moffat was in charge, they were like, here, 90 minutes, 50th anniversary. Go nuts, do what you want. Which, by the way, should have felt like a Doctor Who movie and not a Doctor Who long episode. It just kind of felt like a 2-parter to me and not a film. I feel like it should have felt a bit more filmy than it did.
I agree.
As a celebration.
I think it has shades of that. But
it definitely does have like cool little things going for it. I like the 50th anniversary. Moffat's in charge. They give him the 90-minute slot. Artie Davies comes back. And they go, have three episodes, like, an hours long.
We
specials.
Can't give you enough, Russell. What do you want? Russell?
And Russell's like, I want Beat the Meep, sounding like Richard Nixon for some fucking reason. And they're like, Beep the Meep, yeah, you got him. Who else do you want? And he's like, I want Donna Noble. And they're like, what? Well, you said that she. And he's like, I want Donna Noble. And they're like, okay. And then they throw Catherine Tate out, and Catherine Tate's like, I don't know how I'm here. And Russell T Davies like, it's because your money's like holding her by the scruff of her neck. And they're like, okay, what else?
Give her a daughter.
Give her a daughter. And where's that guy? That temple? Where's the temple guy? And then they throw him at them as well. Bernard Cribbins, and they roll him towards him in a wheelchair. And then he's like, and Tennant, where's my boy Tennant? And they open a safe. They do a few clickety clacks on a safe, and they open it, and Tennant is just stuffed inside there like a Play-Doh man. And
he's
and
like
he just
Captain America in the first Avenger. They just ice that fucking dude down.
No, he's like David Tennant in the birdcage in the Master's bed. And he's like, finally, freedom. Can I have some water? And Russell T Davies is like, no! And he just spits on him. And he just starts writing using the papers that are on the BBC exec's
Have you
desks.
seen The Muppets Most Wanted?
I have not.
There
sadly.
is a great song in it called "I'm Number One," and it's like
I'm sorry for that bit, by the way.
evil Kermit is like, I am the number one criminal in the world, and Ricky Gervais is like, I am the number two criminal in the world, and they do a song about, you know, how
One's number one and
one's number one, one's number two, and the sort of like punchline of all of this is that one day Ricky Gervais will be the
number one.
But for the chorus, he's like, but in the meantime, I've got to dance monkey dance, and then he just starts like tap dancing away while evil Kermit's like above him laughing, just going dance monkey dance, and I feel like that's
It's Russell T Davies.
That's
as evil
Russell T Davies
Kermit,
and David Tennant,
and everyone else is just beneath him. No, I have nothing but like actual love for those people.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say.
I'm not actually. I don't think that he's like tyrannous.
It would just be funny.
Yeah.
You know that bit in the Simpsons movie where the guy's like, "Oh, sir, I'm afraid you've gone mad with power," and he's like, "Yeah, you ever tried to go mad without power?
It's boring."
Yeah, no one listens to you.
Yeah. So that is Eccleston's sort of story. That's as much as I at least want to get into it. He's not there. We don't know the ins and outs. The ins and outs don't matter.
And at the end of the day, it's his business.
And also, everyone is doing fine.
Yeah.
Everyone, he's back doing Doctor Who media. If you want him on screen, poor fucking you, I guess. Like, the fact that he's doing it at all is insanely cool. I can't wait to hear some of his stuff at some point. And also, Doctor Who is in, I want to say it's in very good fucking shape going forward. RTV has confirmed there will be spin-offs. It's a show that deserves and leans into a lot of its extended media, and he said he's definitely doing that,
isn't it? When you look at the amount of extended media that Doctor Who already has, it is a waste to not
do it again.
Yeah.
Episode rankings for this season. Would you like to get into it?
Are we ending?
I mean, it's been an hour.
It's been an hour. Holy shit, man. Okay. Holy shit.
We thought this was going to be like 45 minutes.
Yeah. And then, oh god. Okay. You know what? Yeah. Sure. We'll just.
That would be boring.
How do you want to do this? Do you want to go through?
Okay, Matthew Mercer from Critical Role.
Okay, Virgin on my sofa.
I thought we were friends. All right, Virgin on my sofa. Death count.
The death count.
That's what I'm doing.
Here is
all of our deaths.
The long-awaited season 1 death count, which will
carry on.
Obviously, as you know, I don't think we've mentioned it in this one, but we've recorded Christmas Invasion today.
Yes, that's not included in this.
Oh yeah, not in this, but we are just doing a double bill recording session.
Yes.
So I have automatically gone over to season 2 for this, so the Doctor Who death count will be a running tally.
Oh, you've begun season 2.
Yes.
Okay, right. So this won't include it, but you've begun that season 2.
Yeah, just so we can say, because.
Sorry, I was just going to say before you get into that, Christmas Invasion we are counting as season 2 episode 0 essentially. So that is how we'll be doing it. The numbers will get a bit dicier. I always consider a Christmas special episode 0, but then around the time you get 7 A and B, that's when they get a bit weird, because the snowman is like slap bang in the middle of the season and it isn't considered a numbered episode.
The way that I've always gone with Doctor Who episode numbering was the way that Netflix did. Yeah. Which considered Christmas specials
to be episode 14.
To be episode 0, like
you
said.
They? Okay.
Up until the snowman, and then it flipped to be the end of the season. That was the point, because obviously that season's 2 parts. But yeah, just okay. So because here's a thing, this isn't relevant, but I'm just gonna say it. I have always been fascinated just on how many people
by the killing of bystanders.
Well, just everyone loves to say, the Doctor's got blood on his hands, all these sorts of things.
And how many people die? And this isn't just inadvertent deaths, right?
Okay, so my rules that I assigned to myself when doing this count were deaths that would not have happened had the Doctor
not been
involved.
Okay.
And I know that sometimes the Doctor doesn't necessarily have a choice in being involved in things.
Yep.
But just to show that sort of like, this man is dangerous, whether he wants to be, whether he means to be or not. There is a certain element of risk that comes just from fucking being near him.
Mm-hmm.
And I have also split this into 3 sections. And these sections are, well, I'll explain them one by one. So we've got bodies, which sounds fucking horrible, but what I will define as a body is someone who died, who was maybe like relevant in the story, but ultimately the Doctor will not look back on in any meaningful way, aside from the fact that, like, you know, they are just a person who was around who died at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Then I have sidekicks, and I am defining sidekicks as, obviously these descriptions will become more obvious as I read who it is, but I have defined sidekicks as characters who assist in some way, characters who further what the Doctor does.
This is like the Harriet Joneses.
Yeah. They, you know, they play an important role, and the adventure, you know, that they die for the cause, if that makes it easier, right? Yeah. And then finally, I have the companion section, which is, as it says on the tin, if you are a companion and you die, and I am defining companion as a person who gets to go on a full-length adventure with the Doctor after being picked up from somewhere.
Okay. I'm fine with that. Go ahead and drop that shit.
So, I would like to give out a big RIP to Ruffalo, the Steward, the Mox of Balhoun, all from The End of the World. I would like to pour one out for Mr. Redpath and Mr. Sneed, my unquiet dead boys. Then, let's not forget Aliens of London. We've got the Pig Alien, we've got General Asquith, we've got the Prime Minister, and we've got Mr. Indra Ganesh. Then, following on from that, World War III, we have Slipfelfoch Pasamir de Sladine, and RIP to you guys, but we've got at least another 8 Sladine. I'm sorry, I didn't get your names. Moving on to Dalek, we've got Simmons, and we have, I just wrote a bunch of soldiers. You know the one part with the sprinklers?
Yeah, and they all just get fucking mowed down.
Yeah, I didn't count them, which is a mistake I rectify later in the season. But I didn't count them. So a bunch of soldiers, RIP, and also let's not forget the mutated Dalek itself from that episode.
Yeah.
Moving on to everyone's favourite episode of the season, we have Suki, the editor, and the Jagrafess, all victims of the long game.
Oh, man.
And we can skip over Empty Child Doctor Dances, because just this once, everybody lives, bro. So, coming into Boomtown, we've got Mr. Cleaver.
Just Mr. Cleaver?
Just Mr. Cleaver.
Just Mr. Cleaver,
Mr. Cleaver. Bad Wolf got the numbers up. We have Crosby, we have Colleen, we have Broth, we have Fitch, we have Agarax. Wiped from the board. Parting of the ways, we have Davich Pavel and Elaine the Pain. Plus 34 other members of staff, which I paused when Jack went down to the bottom of the game station, and I counted everyone. I paused it and counted them.
You did not need to do that.
Thanks for telling me that now. It's done, isn't it, Tyrese? Come on. What am I supposed to do, you know? Yeah, I paused it and counted it, so I am saying roughly 34. Like, grain of salt.
Listen, give or take.
Also, we have Roderick. He's not included in the 34. I counted him separate as he is a named character. We have Roderick. We have the floor manager, and then we have 41 leftover contestants. Actually, so yeah, I got that wrong. I counted the 41 leftover contestants. When I was looking at the wiki page, it said that the male and female programmer, who are Davich Pavel and Elaine the Pain, it said they were among 36 members of staff on the wiki. So that's numbers taken from that. But I did count the 41. And those are all of the bodies.
Those are the bodies.
Those are the bodies. Those are the, RIP. Also, I would like to add that if you die on screen, you get put in this. But if we are referring to you as you died later, then sorry, you don't get mentioned. Sidekicks. This is where we're going to start getting sad. This is where we put in the YouTuber apology music to manipulate you.
Remember you,
Clive.
I can't do that.
Jabe. Gwyneth. Pete Tyler. The Controller. And good old sweet little Linda with a Y.
I hate you. Why remind me?
R.I.P.
Rest in pieces.
So those are all our sidekicks. Those are all of the characters that we had an attachment to who were taken from us too soon. And then we also have Captain Jack Harkness. Listen, I'm never going to count another one of his deaths as being a death.
Yeah, that was it. This is an official death. He gets brought back to life.
He does in fact die here. His heart does stop. And
from this point on, he cannot die.
He cannot die, no.
But before this, yes, he could, and he did.
Yeah. And I am also including the Ninth Doctor.
Yep.
As he also does die. And
that's true. Every cell in his body is replaced.
Yep.
That's how regeneration works. It's a new man.
Yep.
So.
And I've not counted these till now, but we're going to do it right now. Tyrese, would you like to hazard a guess at how many lives?
Oh, shit, I didn't think you were going to do that. Fuck.
How many lives have been
are
taken?
Are we in the triple digits, can I ask?
We are, yes, in the triple
I want to say around 115.
109.
I was close, 109.
Though, right? That was a very good guess.
That was very, very close.
And the thing is, I don't think this season is particularly death heavy.
There's a whole episode centered around how Rose's dad dies, but sure, whatever.
But like, you know, I feel like obviously just as a thing that comes with like a show being able to afford extras and such.
Yes.
I feel like we do, aside from the couple of scenes that I paused
kill a
and
lot
counted,
of them.
we don't see many numbers like that. So I know later on those numbers may be higher, but that's it.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll be insane and go and count all of the soldiers in Dalek.
You don't need to. We're not coming back to this. So. Your episode rankings.
My episode. How do you want to do this? Do you want to go through?
No, I want to go 13, 13, 12,
12. Okay.
Yeah, and then we'll go back and forth. Who wants to go first?
I will ask you one question
Okay.
before we do this. How did you come up with this ranking?
So, I asked you first, are we going to rank episodes or stories? You said episodes, which is real struggle, because if we were doing stories, I would not
Very different list.
Yeah, so here's the way I did it, I didn't look at my rankings that I did per episode, because that is how I personally feel
me neither.
about that episode, how well it achieves its goal, how well I enjoy it, and I mash those up.
That comes from very much like in the moment of just watching it.
This is objectively, if I was to hand someone a list
of recs
of recommendations,
I agree.
For this season, I would go, here is my list. Number 1 is the top tier of the top tier, and the bottom of the list is passable. You will probably still enjoy it.
Oh yeah.
I don't think you're gonna.
Yeah, just to reiterate this.
I don't think you're gonna hate anything on this list.
None of the episodes in this series are categorically awfully horribly bad. Some are just very, very good, and they make the others look worse.
Yeah, I was gonna say, as much as we ragged on The Long Game, I still don't mind it as an episode.
I'll still watch it.
Yeah,
you know.
And when I rewatch the show, I'm not gonna fucking skip it. I might say that I will. I probably fucking won't.
Yeah.
Do you want to go first, or shall I go first?
I was just gonna say, just before we start.
Okay.
What I did is I used one of those websites, you know, where you put in the things in, and it's like this one or that one, and it's like this one or that one.
Yes.
That is how I have my ranking for this.
So it's not a numbered thing?
No, it is a numbered thing.
Okay, just making sure it's still
it assigns
numbered.
a point for every one that you pick over the other,
okay, and then
puts points in order. But what I was going to say is that it's given me a tied score for 1 and 2, which upon looking at it, I agree with. And I will explain when we get there.
See, I haven't done that. And
process.
I have 2 that could be switched.
Okay.
For me.
Right.
But I'm going to leave them the way they are now, because I've printed the list off. It is in my hands, so what's the point?
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, I think that it's fair for us to say number 13 together, which is
The Long Game. Okay, right. we just roasted it a second ago, being like, no matter how much we... you fucking... try me, bitch.
Yeah, the Long Game... 13.
Yeah, it's just pretty nothing for me. I wish it wasn't nothing for me. I'm okay with the idea that Russell wanted to tell a story about how not everyone is suited for TARDIS life.
Yes.
Some people will fuck up. Great. And it's a good execution of that idea. I just fucking hated Adam going into it, and I hate him even more after finding out what he's like as a deplorable human fucking being.
In regards to that premise as well of people not being suited for TARDIS life, I definitely think there was a more interesting way to do it than in this episode.
Yeah.
And I feel like
things too, but...
I feel like that plot gets shafted as well in favour of setup for the finale.
But I also don't think you need to set up Platform 1 that much. If you just said this existed in the future, I would believe you. If you just said, hey, this dystopic thing is here, I'd be like, all right.
That's the same thing. I like that this is kind of like, look, sometimes the Doctor goes places and things go wrong.
Yeah,
but again, I think there is a better way to tell that story than this one.
Yes.
But it's like we've said in both of those episodes in our discussions of them that the social commentary stuff is very good, and I agree. I think the social commentary stuff is very good, but I think it's a shame that this is the story that has to be around it.
Yeah, about media and things like that. What is your number 12?
My number 12 is World War III. What's yours?
Aliens of London.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Well, but I remember when we recorded this, you said you enjoyed this for the. You said you enjoyed Aliens more because of the mystery.
Mm-hmm. And you enjoyed World War III more because of the payoff.
Because so that checks. That checks out. I just Aliens of London. I'm like, okay, and the more I'm thinking about it, and I think that the first half of this episode is the best. If I was to split it into quarters, I'd be like, the first half is so good. The second half, when they go to Downing Street, I'm kind of like, whatever. That's where my cutoff is for this. But 12 for me is Aliens of London, for you is World War III.
Yes. My only thinking on that is I think that this is the... I know there has been a few two-parters this series, and I know that we obviously will get more as the show goes on. And just in my opinion, this is the one that mostly feels like two parts, and I don't like that.
I'll give you that. Yeah.
Number 11.
My 11
is
The End of the World.
Mine's Aliens of London.
Okay. Hear me out.
Go on then.
Hear me out.
Hit me.
It's just fucking hard, man.
The End of the World?
No, ranking these episodes was so difficult, and so I'm like, I don't know about you, but oh my god.
That's why I chose to do it this way, because I like, if you offer me a choice of which one I would rather, it's so much easier for me to think of that in a vacuum than the whole season.
The End of the World. The End of the World. I don't really care about the Jabe stuff, I'll be honest. So the Doctor's whole subplot of like just fucking around in the vents, I don't care too much. But I really like the point, like the moments with Rose and the Doctor. I fucking love those.
Agreed.
I love the danger. I think that's great. I like Cassandra as an antagonist, but when those three things aren't happening, the rest of the episode for me just kind of falls flat. And it's a bit look at us, shiny new show with a new budget of the revival of the thing you used to love, which I'm fine with. But as far as episodes go, all right.
Yeah.
And your 11 is World War III.
My 11 is Aliens of London.
Aliens of London, sorry, my bad. I'm gonna fuck this up so bad.
There's like, I don't really have anything to say about it, to be honest. Like,
it just is.
It just is there. Like, yeah, that's just where it falls. Like, I'm sorry, I don't have a defense or an argument for it. That's just where it goes.
Okay. What's your number 10?
My number 10 is End of the World.
My number 10 is World War III.
Oh, what?
So we are roughly now neck and neck, right?
Yeah, well, we've got all the same episodes out the way.
I didn't expect this to happen. Because we started watching this series together, then we've distanced that and started watching the episodes separately because it feels more discussion.
Yeah, it feels better for the conversation
when we meet up, and
because that's what we care about. Rewind listeners, we care about your enjoyment of the show above all
else. And so then when it comes to the ranking, I'm sitting at home, I'm doing this on my own. I'm like, oh, I assume that you will have something largely different to me. No, not at all.
I think that we will see differences later on, but I feel like we've generally.
I think that maybe your top two might be the same as my top two.
Okay,
we'll
maybe.
See. Maybe they'll be switched.
I genuinely didn't consider what yours would be while I was doing mine.
No, I didn't do it whilst I was doing it, but then when I finished
I am thinking about it, and I'm like, oh, these might be similar actually.
Yeah. World War III for me. I like the payoff. The only reason that it's where it is because I just think that the rest is better. I guess there's not really defense for this. I do enjoy I like the stakes in this one more than I do in the first part of this episode, which is where you said that, you know, part one feels like part one, part two feels like part two. The Jackie and the Doctor, the discussion of danger and where Rose is, and the Doctor having her in peril and him being like, "You think I don't know that?
Yeah,
this is my life. This isn't a joke to me."
See, in terms of my opinion of that episode, that's like a high point for me.
Oh yeah,
but unfortunately, the low points are just much lower than you find them, I guess.
Yeah. Your number 9.
Okay, one sec. I'll tell you my number 9. I'm just going to say my justification for End of the World here is that, like, it's still just early doors is all.
Yeah,
it's a fine, it's a good episode, but it doesn't set up as much as the episodes around it because it's the second episode, you know?
I agree.
Was this my number 9?
Your number 9?
My number 9 is Rose.
Oh, vastly different.
Oh, what's yours?
Bad Wolf.
This low down?
I could very no right, okay, so here's my defense of Bad Wolf. Not a huge fan of the reality stuff, we know that.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
And so-
I did really like
And
that.
so the saving grace for this episode for me is like the last 10-15 minutes hologram onwards.
Yeah, okay.
No, the hologram's not this episode. So no, it's not even that. I'm thinking wrong. It's even worse. No, what I meant is the I'm coming to get you. That,
yeah,
which is the last 2.5 to 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So that's the only part that I'm like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Doctor Who is being Doctor Who right now. I don't care very much for the rest of the thing, and I like it as a finale, as the first part of a finale, but I don't like it for anything other than that last bit.
That's fair.
Yeah. Why is Rose at number 9 for you?
Oh, there we go. I can see my computer again. I feel like it's very similar to The End of the World. I don't think there's
I think they feel similar, like tonally.
No, I agree. I think that's a similar one where that's just where it's fallen in the ranking, because I've found that with a lot of these episodes, the ones that I liked them so much that they just pushed the other stuff down.
It's like your top 3 to 5, I imagine, are like really close together.
Oh yeah,
in your own estimations in your mind at least.
See, when I look at this here, it has like, you know, each of the episodes as I've put them in.
Yeah.
And then it's got a score. Obviously, being every one I chose over the other, got a point.
Yes.
And I've found that after, not after this one, but after the next couple, the ones that I would say were like top 5, they are all the same amount of points.
Okay.
Like they are all draws on points. And like, fortunately, I just agree with the way the website has ranked them until you get to the top. And that's when my thing is. So what's your number? 8? 8? Yeah.
8 now.
What's number 8?
Mine is The Empty Child.
Mine's The Doctor Dances.
Okay. Spanner in the works.
Right.
Spanner right in.
Let's go.
In something I've already said you have fucked already.
Okay.
Okay, right. So, for me, this is not my favourite part of this two-parter, and obviously it is not yours.
Empty Child.
Oh no, The Doctor Dances, sorry. So, I mean, it is your favourite part of this two-parter, I guess.
I prefer Empty Child.
Yeah, to the Doctor
Dances.
Dances.
And
I don't.
You don't?
I love the optimism of the Doctor Dances. I love the chase, the figuring out of things. Yeah, so for me, The Empty Child is I don't enjoy this one as much as the Doctor Dances, as is obvious by where I've placed it in the list. You can get that hair.
No, yeah, you can keep going.
But The Empty Child for me, whilst I like it and it's got the scares, it's got all that kind of stuff, it just doesn't come above the rest of what I have on my list.
Oh, that's
for
fair.
me.
See,
But like I said, a lot of this is very interchangeable
It
for me.
is,
It's a
isn't
real
it?
problem because I feel like I'm being a dickhead, and I'm not being a dickhead at all. But this season has a way of making you feel shitty about all of your actions,
my
which is the best thing. It's the most Eccleston thing.
right. See, my thing with the Doctor Dancers is this is
Yeah.
not the one I've ranked above this, but after that one, that's when everything gets interchangeable. That's when everything is very similar. But my thing with the Doctor Dances is just straight out, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I just prefer The Empty Child to it. But I find that with a lot of things, I like setups more than I like payoffs.
Yeah, see, I'm the other way around.
Yeah.
I like the big avalanche of all these pieces fit together at the end, and the nanogene science is not only understandable, but it's unique, and I like it.
Yeah.
The idea that it found this thing went, that's what that looks like. Sure, of course, it's the only time I've ever seen this. You know, if someone when you were a toddler and said this is a cup and handed you a bowl, you would be like, it does the same thing. This is what I know is a cup. That kind of thing. I love that. No, my interchangeable ones, I'd say start around 5 for me. What is your number 7?
My number 7 is Boomtown.
My number 7 is Boomtown.
Oh, there we go.
There we are. It was nice going home, you know.
Yeah.
It was nice seeing everyone, having a little catch up.
My thoughts, this is an episode that when I first watched it really like pivoted how I felt about Doctor Who as a whole, because when I was younger, my episodes of Doctor Who that I liked were the really serious, really gritty, really intense ones that make me cry. And then the sort of first time I was kind of old enough to be like, oh, I have some media literacy now, like proper media literacy now.
Yeah.
I watched Boomtown and I was like, no, because in my mind it was a bad one because it was a silly one. But it's fun. it's fun and it's lighthearted, and it made me think that, you know, as with all sci-fi, it can be good, it can be bad, it can't be boring. And I think that if there is one thing that Boomtown is not, it's boring.
Yep, that's. I mean, what more can I say other than it birthed the Blondelet joke, and it lives on. It lives on.
Yep. And also, it's a lighthearted episode.
It is. It's a cool.
Nice,
it sets up the heart of the TARDIS. It has the whole thing about her wanting a second chance.
Where it comes in the season as well does feel like a very well-deserved break. It's a breath of fresh air in this season, which is a thing that I don't like when people say it. But
it also does a lot with it being the third from the end to dictate where the Doctor is in terms of his morality at this point after the war.
Yeah, and as well, like his whole
Coward
journey.
or killer.
Exactly.
That's part of the.
His whole journey has been very dark, very grim up until this point. Obviously, we know at the finale, again, because of the high stakes, it's very dark, very grim. So it's just like a nice little pit stop, you know, to see him having fun with his friends.
I agree. I agree with you wholeheartedly on that one.
Number 6.
My number 6. Yeah. My number 6 is Rose. My
number 6 is Bad Wolf.
I see. We're getting to the point where, like, you know. Yeah, Rose. I think it's an excellent start. I think it's like a really strong episode.
Yeah.
I just think there's certain things that just. I think there's certain things with effects in this episode that just haven't aged super well. Pizza, Pete. Like there are some bits in this episode that I think are a little bit tonally inconsistent.
In Rose?
Yeah, like should I be silly with the Doctor in the fake plastic hand, or should I be like, oh my god, London and the Ortons are everywhere? Like what is going on? How should I feel about this? And I don't think it does too good a job of balancing that. But I still think it's good with the characters that are involved, and setting those up, I think, is where its strong suit is.
See, Rose is the episode that I have lower down in this ranking.
Yeah.
That I would push higher up if I didn't think the others were all so tight. And
I think I could push The Empty Child up if I was like really gunning for it.
Part of my reason as well, sort of, for having Rose, I guess, where it is in response to that, is just that like it's the first episode. You have limits to what you can do in the first episode.
That's true. Because you've also got to be introducing things and making sure that the viewer's not confused by anything because you want them to come back next week for this thing. What is your number 5?
My number 5 is The Empty Child.
Okay.
And I'm going to say my piece. I'll forever hold it in on this one. I know that this is an episode, and I genuinely did not consider this until the end of my ranking, that this is my nostalgia episode. Shit. And I would like it to be known it's not ranked here for nostalgia. I love the horror movie vibe.
The Halloween of it all.
Yep. I love the Michael Myers that Jamie does. I love the characters. I just think it's very, very good. Like,
no, it is. And it does a good job of making you feel bad. Like, even though Jamie is I don't want to call him an antagonist, because I guess if you really line them up in terms of...
He feels like an anti-villain.
If you talk about, like, archetypes and stuff, I guess Jack would be the antagonist for being the downfall of what is going on.
But this is another episode of Doctor Who, I think, with no clear-cut heroes or villains.
Antagonist does not mean bad guy.
Yeah,
it's not, you know. But no, it does do what it needs to do, and it does it very, very, very well.
Yeah. Also, just part of the reason that I'm like Dr. Dance is so much lower down than this one, I just think that drops all of the vibes from this that I like.
Yeah.
Like, purely vibe, you know, music.
How can I be scared when you keep playing Glenn Miller at me?
Exactly. The Glenn Miller of it all.
My number 5 is Father's Day.
Tell me why.
Ain't nothing but a heartbreak.
Sorry, I've never seen Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
I hate you.
That's a joke and also a lie.
2 in 1.
I've seen Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
It's a 2 for baby.
Hey.
Father's Day, because we're getting so close to the top of the list now where I'm like, just cause.
Yeah, it
because
feels
the
like
rest
now
I enjoy
it's
more.
here because I like it.
The only reason it's not number 1 is because Rose says daddy.
See, for a lot of people, that would
that's
be the reason
why it's number 1. You know what I'm saying? No, I think this episode's great. I like that it kills the Doctor and you know, isolates everyone.
Yeah.
But this is simply one of those cases where I'm like, this episode is so brilliant. It's really cool seeing Sean Dingwall come in and be Pete, and he knocks it out of the park.
He's very, very good.
He's great in that performance. Good enough to want him back for what, 4 episodes next?
Yeah, 5,
3 total.
No, 5. He comes back 2-parters.
Yeah, which would be 4. But I'm pretty sure he's not an army of ghosts. Pretty sure he doesn't come into from Pete's world till
Yep.
Doomsday. So
Sorry.
3.
Yep, that's on me.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh wait, no. I'm right because the other one.
Yeah, but that is my number 5. I just think that the rest that I'm about to say is better, and I think we have some similar episodes that haven't been said yet. 3 of which we haven't said.
We have. What's number 4, Tyrese?
Unquiet Dead.
Parting of the Ways.
Oh wow! That's low. That's lower than I thought it would be.
Yep. Okay. See, my thing is,
I kind of would knock Parting of the Ways down from where it is on my list for the shooty bang bang bang.
Yeah.
This is, once you've seen a shooty bang bang once, you've seen all the shooty bang bangs you
That's
can
true.
see.
I agree.
But not the shooty gatlers.
I just prefer single parters.
I can get behind you on that.
Like, that's, again, no reason why this episode is any worse than the others.
That's why I was asking you if we were doing stories, because stories would be a different list.
Mm-hmm.
I think completely. Yeah, Unquiet Dead for me. I don't think that this episode has anything wrong. I love that it's the first time we travel in time, and it's fucking fantastic. The pacing's great. The Gelth might be where it falls down for me, because whilst I'm like, this is a cool episode, I'm like, the Gelth is kind of an okay villain, a bit of a nothing for me.
But I'm fine with that, with it being so early in the series.
I'm fine with that.
My thing.
But that is what is taking it down for me.
Yeah. Okay.
But you haven't said it yet, so it's clearly higher up on your list.
It is.
What is your number 3?
Unquiet Dead.
Why do I speak?
For basically every reason that you have just said.
Yeah,
it's a good time travel story. It's a good Dr. Rose relationship story. I like Gwyneth. I like Charles Dickens. I think the setting is really good. And, like I say, even when I had that revelation when we were watching it and recording at the time, that it's a Christmas Carol.
It is, yes, yeah.
I just, this is definitely an episode that I always knew that I enjoyed. But after this discussion, after this series, after us doing the podcast, I'm putting it a lot higher.
Yeah,
like
I also
shamelessly.
stick by that thing I said at the beginning, like episode 3 of us recording this, when we were talking about Unquiet Dead, about the first 3 episodes of this season being like their own little trilogy to explain the premise. Those 3 episodes, if you watch them in tandem, are much stronger.
Then yeah,
or at least the first 2 are much stronger, because Unquiet Dead is just a banger. Yeah, Unquiet Dead is fucking. It's a tank of an episode. Yeah, my number 3. Yours is Unquiet Dead. Mine's Dalek.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah.
Oh.
I mean, there's not really anything I can be like, it's this low on the list, because it's not low. It's number 3.
Yeah.
We're in the top 3.
Literally the best of the best.
Why would anyone complain about this?
Yeah.
Really?
It's a ranking that you would get a medal for. So.
Adam, what's your number 2?
Okay.
Adam's in it. Fuck that guy.
So he is my
Oh, I just want to
okay.
before we do go on.
Okay.
A perfect introduction of the Dalek as a concept, though. Anyway.
Yes. No. Absolutely.
Anyway, your number 2.
So here's the thing: my number 1 and my number 2 are tied on here, in that they have the same amount of points. And
I know what they are. I think if I can narrow down what you
probably
haven't
do.
Said.
I am going to put my number 2 as Father's Day.
Okay. Yeah. No, I get it. I wish I could put it that high on my list. It's fucking, this season is a bitch to do. I think some seasons have like 3 or 4 episodes that I'm like, eh.
Yeah. No, this one is solid.
And this one's just
it's
fucking
really, really solid.
Other than the long game, this one is lard, baby.
Mm-hmm.
It's a phone book.
So what do you got? Number 2.
My number 2 is Parting of the Ways.
Okay.
Which is very interchangeable,
different.
very different. Reason being, now I get the same thing as you. Once you've seen the shooty, you've seen the shooty, but you haven't seen the shooty gatwa. So, what I think with this for me is, 1, love you, Linda, miss you.
R.I.P. babe.
Yeah. Live long and prosper and all that. Then I also love every performance in this episode is phenomenal.
Yeah.
You've got Rose going back home. That's fucking tragic.
Yes.
You then get the talk about Pete and, that was me. You saw me there. Then you go back and you've got Super Rose. Then Eccleston knocks it out of the park with his fucking regeneration scene. Before all that, there is the hologram scene as well. The music's banging. It's all up there for me. I fucking love it. I fucking love it. All right? that is why this is number 2 for me. And so you know my
fair.
number 1.
And you should know mine now.
Yours is Dalek.
Mine is Dalek.
Mine is
Yours is The Unquiet Dead.
wrong.
No? Is it? When did you say that?
I said it at number 4.
Oh my god, what's your number 1?
Have you not been listening to me?
Yes, I have.
I thought you were my friend.
What is it? What's number 1?
It's the Doctor Dances.
Yeah, it's the Doctor Dances.
Like you knew the whole time.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah. So why is Dalek your number 1? I feel like it's very. I mean, it's not that I'm like, oh my god, Dalek's your number 1. What the fuck? Like,
okay.
Imagine if you put the long game at number 1 as a meme, I would have fucking
as a joke.
flipped. Yeah.
No, okay, I'll tell you why, because this is part of the reason why 1 and 2 are so tied for me. Is that out of all of the episodes this season, Dalek is the ultimate Doctor episode.
That's correct.
Of all of the episodes this season, Father's Day is the ultimate Rose episode.
Yeah.
And I think the two of them are just doing their absolute strongest performances, in these episodes.
Yeah.
I think that, I have very little negative to say. This whole top 3, even Unquiet Dead, I have very little negative to say about any of them.
Oh, my top 12.
The only... The only thing that puts Dalek ahead of Father's Day for me is rewatchability. That is just because I think that Father's Day asks more of you emotionally.
Yes,
than
to
Dalek
get invested
does.
in all these people and the extras. And
I would like to clarify as well. It's not because it's a fucking Dalek episode. Like, it's not because of the Daleks. It's not because of anything like that. It just happens to be there. But like I say, I think these are the 2 strongest showcases of the Doctor and Rose.
I think as well, if you asked me this again in a week or a month, you could get
change.
a fucking different list from me.
Yeah.
Mine's the Doctor Dances. I like the optimism. I think that this, if I was to show someone Doctor Who and for them to be like, I want to know what this show is about, here you go.
See, I feel the same about Dalek.
I'm like, no, I 100%. Yeah. But the Dalek, I'm like, a lot of people die and stuff. Whereas I'm like, whilst this isn't always the outcome, this is always the goal. To save as many as you can. There is 10 says, 11 says at one point, like, you don't get involved in other people's affairs or planets unless there's a crying
unless
child.
there's children crying.
Yeah, like that kind of thing.
Amy that says that.
Yeah, this very much, but he agrees to it. Shut the fuck up, I know. I knew it as well. I knew you would say that. You fucking, actually me in every fucking episode of this show. I'm sick of doing it already.
Carry
on. But yeah, the Doctor Dances, I like the optimistic ending. I like the Nana Jeans stuff.
Yeah.
That all goes straight to the top for me. I think the music in this is good. I think it's got the creep factor that Doctor Who doesn't always succeed but tries to. I think that Rose is very on point in this episode, trying to humanize the Doctor a bit more. It's a good part where we see the Doctor being not a completely closed off shell because he's starting to come out of his shell a bit more towards the end of the season. I like Jack as an addition. I like that this is where his arc goes a little bit from coward to a bit more brave when he's on the on the rocket and stuff. I just think all round it's a top-notch episode. But do you know how many of these I would love to all tie at number 1?
Oh yeah,
most of them. Like most of these episodes, I would be like, and these 6 are tied for number 1, and list half the season.
They are basically all bangers in season 1.
Yeah, we got a good, strong, I think 8.
You've got no disappointments in season 1 of Doctor Who.
We've covered quite a lot in this 1 hour 40 minutes. We've done a good amount of. We've done the death counts. We've done White Eccleston left. We've done. The fucks. We've done the fucks. We've done our rankings. Now, I didn't tell you we were going to do this.
Oh god.
Now we're going to rank our own episodes.
Oh,
I'm kidding. We're not doing that. But oh my god,
I got really scared for a second. They're all shit. They're all shit.
I'm glad that worked. You will see us week after next. We're not going to be doing this next week.
Yeah, we'll take a little rewind break.
Gonna take a little break. We're not stopping because why would we? This is our favourite show. Why would we do it? We're just going to take a week off to recuperate and then come back at you the week after with the Christmas Invasion. And every subsequent week after that is going to be season 2.
Back in on season 2, baby.
With Tennant and Billy Piper. Elizabeth Sladen makes an appearance. I'm excited to.
I'm very, very
get
excited.
To that. Cybermen make their first appearance in the revival.
Mm-hmm.
Lots to look forward to.
Yeah.
Let us know if you enjoyed the season. How would you rank all of these if you were a human?
Hit us.
Just
with your
hit us.
rankings.
Just hit us.
Throw a tire iron at my face.
I'll do it.
Yeah, let us know your rankings of season 1 of Doctor Who.
But don't let us know your rankings of season 1 of Doctor Who Rewind. I don't think I
No,
can take that
if
kind of
you-
criticism right now. I'm
if
fragile.
you do just say they are all dog shit, then I'll go, that's fair.
I'll cry a little, but I won't say like,
Be
oh,
like,
that's not fair. I'll be like, I was in them, and then I'll cry.
The production value is very good, but just the just the content is dog shit.
Talk less. Anyway, we'll see you in 2 weeks.
See you in 2 weeks.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.